Hi, my name is Mark Elliott and I'm a Divisional Youth Specialist for Yorkshire South Humber Division. Over the coming days and weeks, I'm going to interview Salvation Army officers, employees and volunteers to share a little bit of the good work that is taking place across our division. We are in unprecedented times, and amidst these moments, we are going to look at how the Salvation Army is adapting to serve each of our communities. Thank you for joining us today, Josh. Please, can you start by sharing a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Josh Chapman. I'm 21 years old. I'm just finishing my final year at Sheffield Citadel University as a journalism student. So just had an exam this morning. Hopefully that went relatively well. Only got one or two little bits left to do. So that's kind of where I'm at. A little bit in between jobs at the moment. So looking for that first step out as an actual graduate.
You've already mentioned that you've had to do your first exam at home this morning. So can you share with everyone a little bit about how the coronavirus has impacted you?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned there, university has changed a little bit to how it should have been. Probably for around a month now, university's been shut. So the buildings or the libraries, etc., have been closed. So we've not had access to those. Any lectures that we should have had were moved online. So that's a slightly different way of working that nobody's really been used to before. So that's something that we've had to get used to. But as I mentioned there, obviously I had an exam this morning that was online. I had an exam on Tuesday and that was online as well. So it's a little bit kind of weird doing an exam at home, but at the same time it's good because you get all your notes, you get your books, you've got all the PowerPoints if you want them. So it kind of swings and roundabouts, but it has been a little bit odd in that sense. Job-wise, I had actually managed to secure a job working for the Army, the Salvation Army that is, down at THQ, working as a PR and comms assistant. And unfortunately, I found out this week that has sadly fallen through because of the coronavirus impact that it's having on the Army. So there is no longer a job there for me, which is a little bit disappointing. But back to square one really, and we go again and we go for the job hunt and go through the process once more.
Mate, I'm sorry to hear about the job. That really is devastating for you, and it's really tough times, and it's sad to see how it's affecting everyone, positively and negatively. But one thing I can assure you is we will continue to pray for you, and later on we're going to ask for some prayer requests, but we will spend some time praying for you, specifically as you look for a new job in these moments in time. Moving on, I just wonder, what can you share from the coronavirus that's been a positive impact on you?
Well, I've started running again, so from a fitness health point of view, so that's probably quite a positive thing. I ran a 10k back in September and did it in a very respectable 58 minutes, and then went from that to doing absolutely nothing, apart from getting to the point where I started getting out of breath as I walked up the stairs, which probably isn't the the best thing, and probably is quite a good sign that you should start exercising again. So that's been a positive. It teaches you to just be appreciative of the things you can do. I've gone from a life where I was doing things 7 days a week, majority of the day, for 7 days a week as well, to a life where I'm doing very little really. I'm focusing on my uni work, because that's really the only thing that I have been able to do. So I guess, like I say, it makes you appreciate the little things, and it also makes you appreciate the time you spend with other people. Me and my girlfriend are in very different cities. She lives down in Peterborough, Mia lives down in Peterborough. I live up in Sheffield. So, normally we'd kind of get to see each other usually once a week at a weekend, or every 2 weeks, or something like that. But we've now not seen each other since mid-March, which is a little bit difficult. And obviously it's not like I can just pop round the corner and just say hello through the window or whatever, as some people can who live closer. So it is a little bit more difficult in that sense. So we've had to learn a new way of being with each other, whether that be through FaceTime. We've done a few different quizzes with the Peterborough Salvation Army youth lot. We've not done very well in those quizzes, but we have been consistent. We've been very consistently mid-table, so we'll take that. So it just teaches you to interact with each other in different ways, and also just live your life in different ways as well.
It's been fascinating to see how many different people have really engaged with social media in new ways. We only have to look at famous people and see the array of different things that they are offering, whether it's cooking classes, dance classes, reading books, or what have you. There's just so many things on offer. And now as the church embraces that and finds a new way to engage, and it's a new mission field. Yes, it was already there. We were doing things on social media, but now we're kind of being forced to embrace it much more. And hopefully through that, there'll be a much bigger impact with people online as well.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we've been doing for probably 4 or 5 years now at Sheffield Citadel is live streaming our services. So that's not a new thing to us. However, obviously in a period where we can't physically meet together at the hall, so many more people have been utilising that service that we provide, and people from all over the country as well. We have people in the Isles of Man, down in Peterborough, Bedford, up in Scotland, lots of different places. And just to see the amount of views that our services are getting, a couple of them have actually been in the thousands recently over the last few weeks, which is absolutely fantastic to see that the church is still alive and people still want to be involved in church, even if it's in a different way. And I guess for me, who goes on a Sunday and plays in the band and leads the wipey band and do whatever else, it's nice to just sit at home, either in watch it in bed or watch it downstairs in the living room in the comfort of your own home, and just kind of relax and enjoy the surroundings that you're in, and really take into consideration what you are listening to and what you are watching at the same time.
I mentioned earlier that you're a member of our 412 Youth Forum. I wonder if there's anything that you can share with everyone that you think the 412 Forum can do to help support young people at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think one of the main things that we can do to support that is just be a listening ear to each other. There is no better way of helping people with their problems than just listening to what people have to say, and it is so important to actually hear people's issues, hear people's thoughts, and how we can develop people and develop relationships with each other as well. So I think that the main thing for me would just be listen to what people have to say, and if they've got an issue, then you listen to them in full, and then go, right, well, let's talk about this point, let's take it point by point and see where we can actually help with that, because like I say, listening is such an important tool. And even though we can't be physically together, there are, as you've mentioned, as we're doing now, talking obviously over the internet, via Zoom. Who'd ever heard of Zoom before all this? I hadn't. But there are so many different ways that we can still communicate with each other, even if it's just dropping a text message or a phone call or anything like that. And just developing those relationships together is so vitally important to that.
Yeah, thank you for that, Josh. Do you have any prayer requests? We obviously mentioned earlier about the current job situation, but is there anything else that you'd like us to pray for you in the coming days and weeks?
Yeah, like you're saying, the job situation is one that's far from ideal. I find myself back at square one, looking through LinkedIn for different jobs and different roles that are available. So praying to that situation, that would be fantastic, for me to be able to find something that's A, suitable, B, in a correct location, C, for the right money, and D, fits my skill set. Not many requirements, so that's something that is really important at the moment. But also just, pray for each other's sanity, especially those that are inside, haven't got a job to go to because they're not a key worker or are on furlough, but also those that on the other side of that are key workers and are still going out day to day to keep us safe, to look after our country and to keep it moving. For example, Mia, my partner, working in a GP surgery, while she's not directly involved with frontline patient care, she's still one of the roles that is so vitally important to the country and to keep it moving. So I guess it's more a prayer for our nation and for our communities as well, that they are okay, that they are safe, and that they get whatever they need in order to be to continue to be fit, healthy, and both physically and mentally.
Thanks, Josh. Well, let me spend some time just praying for you, okay? Let's pray. Dear Lord, I just want to thank you for Josh. I want to thank you for his steadfast faith in the face of adversity. We thank you for his ongoing contributions to the 412 Forum and the role model he is to the young people around him. We bring his prayer requests to you, Lord. In particular, we want to uphold Josh in prayer as he starts the job hunting process again. And throughout these challenging days, we pray he keeps you in the center of his life. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And as I've said, please be assured of our prayers in the coming days and weeks. And if you ever need anything, just don't hesitate to get in touch.
Thank you.